Well, hello everybody. Welcome, welcome. I know it's been forever since you've heard from me. It's been a long time since I've done a video, tutorial, or series. And so I'm coming back with them. And I wanted to start with something a little bit on the extraordinary side. So I'm working with a product called Bento Buddy. And this was introduced to me. I am so thankful that it was, and you are going to love this. This is a product that is on the SL Marketplace. You buy it, you open it, you wear it, you get a link, you open the link, you register, and when you register, you get to this page. And this is the page where you can see all the different versions that have been out. The top one is the latest version. So, you're going to click on it, you're going to download it, and you're going to be done with this page, and you can go ahead and close it. The one thing that I found, let me close these up. The one thing that I found is that I get more note cards, IMs, emails, messages about making clothing in SL than I do anything else. So I thought, well, I tried to teach it in Avistar, and that was successful up to a point, but Avistar seemed to grow beyond beginners. I'm not sure how many beginners can actually go in there and work successfully without tons and tons of help. And that help, the way that a beginner needs it, is actually just not available. So we're going to come over here and we're going to see how easy it can be with Bento Buddy. Let me not mention that it's less than half the price of Avistar, and to keep the updates and renewing them for beyond that year is also substantially less as well. Okay, putting the cost aside, I'm going to come in here and show you. If you go to your preferences, edit window, if you go to preferences, you're going to hit install in the add-on tab. You're going to find your Bento Buddy. It's going to show up here, and you're just going to check mark it. After you check marked it, close this. Well, after you make sure that your preferences are being saved, close that. You don't have to relaunch. Bento Buddy is here already, and you're going to watch it populate my screen in a moment. So we're going to work with the Maitreya Dev Kit today. I'm going to go to File and Open Maitreya Kit. Give it a moment to load. There we go. You'll see that the Bento Buddy window already popped up. And let me see if I can. Let me close some of these up. So these are the tools, and the menus are extensive. You cannot believe what you can do with this one. What I'm going to concentrate on doing with this one is clothing, animations, and characters, and animated characters. It's going to be so much fun. But this is the thing that everybody wants the most right now. So let's get right back into it. When you look at this at first, you will see that mine is in pose mode. I don't know if it came that way or if I put it in pose mode and saved it, but we're going to go to object mode. What we can do right off the bat is just clean up this rig a little bit. Not that this needs to be done, I just do it because I kind of like the way it looks. So I'm going to go to Rig Tools, and the first thing we're going to do is go to the Enable View. We're going to turn off volume bones, turn off face bones, and turn off hand bones. Now we can go ahead and turn on the non-human bones. Those are the only ones that weren't done. So you can I just turned it on so you can see that there are the non-human bones. Turn those back off. Alright, let's close up the rig panel again and the tool panel. What we see here is not as much of a mess as it looks like it is. This is 3 different bodies made by Maitreya. So Maitreya's first body is a flat-chested one, so we'll just go ahead and grab that and move it to the side. The next one is a petite add-on, so let's go ahead and grab that and move it to the side. You'll see the difference between the 3 bodies, and you can make clothing on all 3 of these bodies. So you don't have to just make Maitreya regular, you can make Maitreya petite and flat-chested if you want to. We're going to go with a regular today, but I do want you to take notice of the chest, how flat it is and how small it is in these ones. And that's going to be important when it comes to understanding a little bit about weight painting. And we're not going to be doing the weight painting today, but you really need to see something. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this one, delete that one. I want to export this body to use in Marvelous Designer so I can make my clothing fit to it. We could do that in Blender. You can make clothing in here, but it's a tutorial type thing, so it's faster to do it in Marvelous Designer. And I can give you a few hints there as well. The first thing you want to do before exporting this, or the last thing you want to do, is decide which feet. If it doesn't matter which feet, then you don't have to export any of them. If you need a specific foot, then delete all the rest of them. So like if you have a pair of jeans or beach pants that are going to be hanging on the top of your foot, you want to leave this flat foot in there so that you can shape the pants right over the top of the foot. It just looks so much more natural and real. I'm going to just stick with a high foot for right now, even though it doesn't matter because I'm making a dress, the feet don't matter. So I'm just going to delete the rest of these and the tippy toes. Alright, then I'm going to select everything, the hands, the feet, and the body. Go to File and Export. I'm going to export the OBJ, and I'm just going to call it the Maitreya regular body. Put my dot pack in there and export it. There we go. So it's exporting now, and it's done. The next thing I'm going to do is go to Marvelous Designer. I'm going to go to File, Add, Avatar. When you click on your avatar to bring it in, you want to use Add on the load type. You want to make sure that you go from millimeters to meters, and then you can click OK. Give it a moment to load, and there it is. I'm assuming most of you know how to use Marvelous Designer. If you don't, we'll put another couple tutorials out there as well with some really good hints and tips, and I'll give you a couple of those today as we're making this first dress. Let me go ahead and scroll in here. I'm going to click on the polygon tool. I'm going to scroll in pretty close. And I do that so that I can try and get an even number. See, 32.0. And when I come over here, it doesn't matter if I can see what's over there or not, right? Because if I come here and I wait for it to get purple, see how that line turned purple? I can click and take this out to 32 exactly. Almost. There we go. And click. The closer you scroll in, the more control you have over the exact size of this. And so they're the same size. I'm going to come down and click under the arm. I could take this since it's a dress. I could take this all the way down, but I prefer taking it halfway down. And then when you come down, don't click over here. You don't have to come straight down, but do come out only a little bit. You don't want to come out way over there. When I go to the other side, you can see I still have my purple line to line up horizontally. And when I come up to where this next dot is, point, I'll get a purple line to show that I'm aligned horizontally with that as well. Same with the under the arm one. Come up to close it off, and we're done. The next little hint or tip that I want to give you is if you're going to create curvatures, create it on the first piece before you copy this and make it your back piece. So I'm going to curve in on the neck a little bit. What people seem to think as well is that just putting this on the avatar it's going to form itself with the curves and everything really nicely on its own, but it's not. So to make your piece look much better, always bring the sleeves in a little bit. When you do the torso area, also bring that in a little bit. When it comes to the lower part, go ahead and pull it out just a tiny bit. It doesn't have to be a lot. Actually, a lot, it would not look as good if you had a big curve there. Now that I have this one, I can go to Edit Piece, click it, Control Copy, Control Paste, move it to the side. When I make this dress, let me go here. So I'm going to make this dress here, and I'm going to turn it around because the front is the front and the back is the back, and it does make a difference. And there we go. If we were to take this and sew the front of this to the back of this directly, you end up getting a lot of pull. But if you take a small piece of fabric and connect the two of them with that fabric, you don't get such a strong pull on it, and it maintains its shape much better. So you could make this longer, but remember that also affects the neck. So if I were to, let's say, if I were to grab these and pull them up, oh, come on, and pull them up, the armholes are affected. They're much bigger now, and actually the neck went up with them, but the neck here is now going to be up in your chin rather than down around the neckline where you want it. So I found, let me put this back where it belongs, if it will ever get there, and I think that's pretty good. So if we just create a little rectangle here, so we'll start out here, and you'll notice that I'm using this point as a marker. So just hovering up here, I get my purple line, I can make a dot, I can go this way till I'm horizontally in line with this point and vertically in line with this point. You see my two purple lines. I go up, keeping it straight, over, making sure I get both of them, and then closing it. Where that kind of technique comes in handy is making a second one here. Instead of just dragging a copy of this over, you can simply come here, line it up with the vert from the shirt, come up till you get the horizontal line, go up till you get the next one, go over till it's horizontal and vertical with the shoulder, come down, rinse, repeat. You see what I mean? Anyhow, now they're both exactly the same size, and they're pretty much in place, which means in here they're in place. So I'm going to select these two, rotate them a bit, drag them back, and drag them down. Oh, I went back too far. And let's just go ahead and pull the dress back a little bit. There we go. When we're sewing things, we just want to remember that this one is actually as if we're looking at the back of the avatar. So we're seeing the back side of it. When we free sew, we just want to make sure that we sew opposite sides together. The same goes true with the shoulders. These ones are easy because they just get matched like that. But the shoulder opening side here goes to the shoulder opening side here. And we can use that same process for this one. Okay? If you look in here, you'll see that they're all lined up perfect. Click on our simulate, and there we go. Let me close this a little bit. Well, first thing I want to do is, I think Actually, the back looks fine. I was going to make the neck a little, yeah, let's make it a little scoopier. Because what will happen is we'll get a little more fabric to play with down here for the wrinkles. So let's go here. You see we don't have a whole lot of wrinkles going on. But when we simulate, it relaxes a little bit more because this is more open. And so we have a little bit more going on. If you start pulling this around, less is more. So if you start pulling this around, I guarantee you will keep pulling and you will keep pulling and you will keep pulling and you will just not be happy. It'll be a long time before you can pull on this and make sure that the breasts don't poke through. Also, the more that you pull on it, the more it manipulates up here across the shoulders, which will tend to get those either stuck in the neck or completely thin out. Right now, they're resting just right, and we want to keep it that way. So you can see here, we have to adjust this a little bit. Because I've already kind of made it different by tugging a little. But there we go, that's good. The neckline looks nice, is what I was trying to go for. So how do we fix this then if we don't really want to tug on it? Well, if it's small areas like this, there are actually two ways. Let's go to our select pattern or edit pattern and select them all. Come down into our particle distance. By default, it's set at 20 millimeters. That means that these points are all 20 millimeters away from the next closest one. 20 millimeters away, 20, 20. Each face, each triangle is flat. It does not bend here through the middle of the triangle, giving the mesh the ability to curve around the breast. It's cutting through it. Even here, you have a flat face and a flat face, and while this bends, it still doesn't bend it enough to cover that. But if we change this to 10 particle distance, the mesh is now changed, and if we hit simulate, you can see that it fixed it. It gave it a perfect amount of extra geometry by closing down the particle distance, and therefore it did give us more geometry. Another thing that you can do is after you get this done, let's say there's just a little bit still poking through. If you right click and go to quads, that will also help. So now we have it in all quads. The nice thing about all quads is look how well the sides of it all line up. And you will see that we also have more wrinkles now. Given a little bit more geometry, the clothing has been able to drape a little bit more, giving us that realistic feel. And guess what? We're done. That's it. So let's go ahead and we have everything selected. We will go to File, Export OBJ Selected. Let's go ahead and just name this tutorial dress. We want to weld it, which means we want to keep the sides together and all the seams together. We want to make sure that M is selected, not MM. And we'll click OK. Once that's been saved, we can go back to our Blender file, click on the actual rigging, come down to Object Data, and in this case it's going to have the little running man icon, and choose for Show in Front. It's like X-ray, only they don't, oh, I don't want to do that. Only they don't call it X-ray anymore, they just call it in front. When you have that selected and done, we can go ahead and go to File, Import, OBJ, bring in our dress, and you can see if it's as expected. Oh, why do I keep doing that? I'm using the wrong mouse. Now the breasts are showing through again, which I did not mean for that to happen. But we can fix that. Can you imagine what it might be if we didn't relax the fabric and stuff in Marvelous Designer before we exported it? That'll be easy. So let's just go ahead and click on it, put it in edit mode. We're going to go ahead and select a few of those points. Let's do +1. Turn on our proportional editing. I love proportional editing. And then I'm just going to kind of look at it. Let's go into the side view. I'm going to hit grab and make sure that my area of influence is low. And I can bring that out. Again, I'm going to... My fingers still do not get used to this new blender sometimes. So Control++. Other side view. And you can see how far we pulled out the first breast over there. So if we grab this and just tug a little, it's covered, they're even, and it is done. How easy was that? Alright, so now we are going to go ahead and open up our Bento Buddy settings, go into the skinning weights, and choose your garment. You'll see the first choice that you have is to lock your garment. So this is telling Bento Buddy BB that this is our garment. We're going to choose the avatar and tell Bento BB that that's the avatar. If we go ahead and we hit transfer weights, it now knows to take the weights from the avatar and transfer them to the garment. So transfer weights. This pops into edit mode. You can select one, rotate it, and see that the clothing is now rigged or skinned, whichever term you like to use. The weight painting on it is really good, but it's not perfect. If I go into weight painting on the dress and I click on left hip, or upper left leg, you can see the weight painting that's been transferred the way it's been done. Here we have solid lines pretty much, and when you rotate, do you see that? This stretches a little, this stretches, this stretches. This moves with it all the way. What does not move is a solid blue, and that's just not realistic. This light blue gradient where it goes into solid blue should be about here. So weight painting, you would weight paint this until this was smoother and the effect of it was stretched out a little bit longer. But again, we don't want to go into weight painting just yet. I'll rotate. Okay, so that is that. It is done. It is ready to take in world. Not really. Like I said, you will want to weight paint, but we'll get into that later. And something else that we might want to do is edit these sleeves, these shoulders just a little bit. What I would do is probably come in here and with proportional editing on, just grab this and just to straighten it out a little bit. I'm not messing around with my area of influence correctly, so you can do a better job when you do yours. You don't need to watch me mess around with that too much. The last thing we want to do, though, before we export this is think about the unwrapping. So let me go into the UV editor. Open this window up. The dress in edit mode and select all. You can see this is the window right here. That is our editor window. And you can see that the dress pattern is way big. We can't even get it all in this view. So we're going to hit A for all, hold our mouse to the side and scale it down. Oh, no, I didn't want to reverse it. I got carried away with my scaling. Grab it and put it there. You can't really leave it like this because if you look here closely, those are the shoulders, and they are underneath and tucked between the front and the back of the dress. And you really want to know where each piece is separately so you can bake textures or you can make textures that make sense. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to my UVs, pack islands, and what Blender does is it takes the pieces and keeps them all proportionately the same size and fits them next to each other in the editor instead of any pieces on top of each other. So let me rotate this 90 degrees. There we go. You can see that it's out right now, but you can move it, you know, and get it in there, or you can go to UV and constrain to image bounds. Now if you try to move it beyond the borders, you just can't. So that's actually a good thing. I'm going to scale this down just a little bit. Grab it and pull it down. So these two pieces are the shoulder pieces. We don't actually know which one is which. So why are they stuck together? Oh, from proportional editing, that's why. So let's go ahead and turn that off. Grab this and move it. Okay, so this is just going to be a guess at first, but I'm going to guess it goes here. Now if I come to this dress and I use circle select, that's the top of the dress. Yep, and that is the top, the area that is lined up there. That's a pretty good guess. Alright, the next one is this one. Oh. So let's go ahead and bring that over here. Let's select nothing. Come here, circle select. So there's the top of the, and again, that one is turned the right way as well, which is great. Can you imagine, like, I'm hitting the wrong key, that's why. Can you imagine trying to make a design where the comes over the shoulder and across the front of the shirt, and then actually find out it's backwards, so it goes across the shoulder this way and down the back of the dress instead? So having them lined up is pretty nice. Let's go ahead and grab this. And because we did welding and we did quads and we made things the right sizes, this actually fits perfect with this one. If we hit border and select those two and hit our right mouse button, we can choose align Y. They line up. They're not joined, but they line up perfectly. So let me just grab this one, move it close, border select, right click, align Y. Now that's done. So that's good. Alright, so now if you want to, you go to UV. Where is our export UV layout? Right here. So you can export this, bring it into Photoshop, GIMP, whatever program you like, to use as a template for making your mesh textures, your dress textures. Or even for baking, you have that now. And when you're doing baked textures, you don't want any of your UVs laying on top of other UVs. It's just not going to work out if you do that. So again, the weight painting isn't perfect, but it's good enough for you to see in SL exactly how this worked. So now I'm going to click on it and export it. Nope, not that way. I'm going to come to mesh export. Sorry, that was really dumb to do it that way. So we're going to go to expand rig and kit options. If you go to load dev kit here, it's going to bring up a bunch of presets available to you. Maitreya's kit is not there. Again, let me go here. Ignore these two. I did those two, but you can see there's Maitreya's not there. So you kind of need to make your own, or you need to find somebody to help you with that. And actually the owner, the creator, Bin Bash, helped me with my mesh exports. So he gave me, let me go ahead and load mine, these ones. And you can see what's selected, these here. When I did this one time, it was absolutely perfect. Another time that I did it, the actual mesh was cutting into the stomach really bad, into the breast pretty drastically, and even on the back of one of the legs, one of the legs was coming through the back. And I'm kind of thinking it had to do with maybe how tight the dress is, or some other phenomenon. I'm not exactly sure why. So something for you to do is to copy these settings, click Save Dev Kit, and I called it My Maitreya, and I saved it. When I did the dress the second time, I was messing around and I chose the Use Avastar settings. When I used those ones, on one dress it worked, on another dress it was worse. So I went in here and changed it, and when I did Save Dev Kit, I named it Maitreya 1. So I have both of those handy, just in case something about those don't work with the other. I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say. You know, in case one doesn't work right, try the other one. If neither one of them work right, you can come back in here and try a little bit more. But if they don't work, it's probably because the dev kit may be broken, and hopefully you can get some information to you on that if that turns out to be a problem with your dev kit. Okay, so after you do your settings, right, you can come down here and export mesh for SL OpenSim. And I'm just going to call it my tutorial dress and export it. And that is done. Alright, so let's go ahead and head over to Second Life. I'm going to go to Upload Mesh, Tutorial Dress. I'm just going to go with really simple settings here for right now. When that turned yellow, you went too low. Go back up one. Go to the upload options and make sure, I should move that over, make sure that you include your skin weight. Again, level of details where I change these numbers, and I'm going to calculate. Half land impact 11 lindens, and let's just go ahead and upload it. I'm going to add it. Let me go ahead and take off that bodysuit I was wearing, if I can find it. Alright, sorry about that. There it is. Bodysuit off. Okay, so as you can see, everything fits really well. It's It's not cutting in on the shoulders. It's not cutting in on the butt or the stomach or the breasts. But you can tell, let's see, let's change our T-pose here to arms down, legs together, legs apart. You can see it even moves with the legs very well, but if I were to walk, you see this very straight area here, it would continue to be straight. We would want to fix that. And you can see here on the shoulders that they do get a little bit wider because they're moving with the shoulder bone here, where this isn't moving with the shoulder bone. So you would weight paint it to get this to stay a little bit closer to where it started. Now, I want to show you the part about the different body types and weight painting. So if we go into edit shape, we go to the first one, the body. You can see the body gets thicker. Everything still fits. Body gets fatter. Everything still fits. We're going to go to let's go to the legs and the butt. Works great. We can even do, let's see, our saddlebags. All working good. Okay. Now the breasts. So the breasts, when we take them up all the way, they are working fine. And that is because the mesh goes faster than the avatar. It actually increases by a larger amount. So if you were to say, increase the breast by 10, like the level 10, the breast would go a level 10, but the dress itself would go level 11, which means it gets bigger faster. It's not proportionate. They don't grow and shrink at the exact same rate. So the bigger you make your breast, the more distance you're going to put between your clothing and your actual breast. This is more evident if you were to scale down your breast size. So let's scale it down. And you see we're scaled down to 0, scaled down to flat, and our breasts are actually poking through, our chest is poking through. And this is the reason that Laura makes a small breast and a flat chest. Because if you had a flat chest and you tried to get the clothing to be flat with that chest, it would never really work out. Again, it's because you may have brought your breast down to 10, but the clothing went down 11 or 12. It just does it at a different rate and a different amount than the avatar does. So that's why I said they make their 2 different body types, or 3 different body types. Let's go back here before I forget to and I lose what my shape was supposed to be. Okay, so that's it. We just brought an outfit from Marvelous Designer into Second Life in a matter of, 30 minutes or so, and that was mostly because I was talking. If you do this on your own, you can do it in 10 minutes, I guarantee you. I'm going to come back with a tutorial on the weight painting. I'm going to come back with a tutorial on making your clothes with the legs open and the arms in the A pose. Show you how easy that is. And I will be working my way through probably the different kits, also with the weight painting. I hope you liked this video. Please subscribe and share and like it, and let everybody else know about it. Don't keep the good stuff to yourself. Anyhow, thanks for watching, and I will catch you on the next video. Bye.